Let's make it loud in here. Let's keep this fucking energy going for our friend Daniel Baltazar.
All right, let's break the ice a little bit here. Who in here is nostalgic for 2016? All right, I'm glad y'all are nostalgic for it, because me, it wasn't exactly the worst year of my life, but it was the weirdest. So let's just get this out of the way. So, for those of you that don't know, I am autistic, and 2016 is when I feel like it really showed. Because around that time, there was this little game called Five Nights at Freddy's that was at its peak in popularity. And around that same time, there was also a movie that came out that 12-year-old me globbed onto and developed an unhealthy obsession with. That movie was Zootopia. Now that I think about it, 2016 me was a stone's throw away from becoming a furry. I'm glad I didn't go that route. And it was especially bad because 2016, I had just discovered what porn was, so combine that with preteen hormones and yeah, not good. Now that I'm an adult, I can safely say that I'm glad my parents restricted my internet access when they first caught me looking at porn. On a less perverted note, I'm also not nostalgic for 2016 because I wrote a series of stories and it was essentially my own MCU. I was just taking movie plots and adding a bunch of other characters into it, like SpongeBob, Mario, Angry Birds, and Shrek. I wrote these stories with a guy I call the Ghost. He's not the Ghost because he realized what we were writing was fucked up and ghosted us because of it. Hell, I don't know why he ghosted us. I'm still trying to figure that shit out. But, you know, it wasn't just all about sex back in 2016. So I was also trying to work and collect action figures for Five Nights at Freddy's, which I'm surprised my dad wasn't on board with that, because for years he had been going on and on about how he wanted me to be into something other than SpongeBob. I wouldn't shut up about SpongeBob. So where's the support for Freddy's, Dad? Looking back at it, I think he wasn't supportive because he didn't want me replicating all the murders in that game, because yeah, there's a lot of death in it, but I'm not going to turn into a copycat killer. I mean, hell, I may have been impressionable at that age, but even I knew murder was bad. Now that I'm older, I've been writing better-ish stories. I'd like to say, looking back at what I used to write, these are definitely better in comparison. And while I'm still a fan of Freddy, I haven't been as active. I mean, I've been to the movie. Hell, if you told my 12-year-old self that in 9 years they were going to make not only a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, but they were going to release the sequel to Five Nights at Freddy's and the sequel to Zootopia in the same year, kid me would have lost my shit. They'd be like, oh really? All right, let's get to writing. You'd think I was a DeviantArt kid, but funny enough, I wasn't. Believe me, if I was a DeviantArt kid, I'd be spewing even weirder shit up here. You think what I just said was weird? You have not been on DeviantArt, my friend. And to be fair, I haven't really been on it, but from what I've heard, yeah, it's best I never ventured into that cesspit. Yeah, now that I'm older, you know, sometimes you just have to put old things to rest. Like I wrote a whole story about Five Nights at Freddy's being in Zootopia, and I thought it was like the best love story since Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, that was not it, Chief. I mean, I'm sure my 12-year-old self probably would have cooked up some kind of a sequel romance story, you know, learning that the movies came out roughly around the same time last year. But not anymore. But now I'm back to being a SpongeBob fan. It was kind of my dark age in 2016, because that's also the same year my parents wanted me to stop buying Lego or collecting Lego. So I went through a little dark age for like 3 years, and now I'm the bricked up boy wonder of Bakersfield. So let's just end off by saying that, ladies, if you ever hear me say the words "I'm bricked up," I'm talking about my Lego collection, not my dick. So gentlemen, you never have to worry about hearing that I was hanging out with your girlfriend or I was flirting with her. Let's be real. I have no pull game, none whatsoever. Virginity is pure. Virginity is good. Remain pure. No, virginity is cool. Remain pure. That's my motto, anyways. That's been my time. Have a good night. And as you can tell, I was in the culture wars.
Everybody make it loud here for Daniel Baltazar.